Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. We are on a 119 win streak currently, with only 5 characters to go, so let's see if we can manage to do that. I'm gonna spin this wheel, and we'll see what's coming up next. We've got the Pacifist. So this it looks like an easy character, and Pacifist typically is a very easy character if you can use optimal weapons. However, for this random weapon challenge, Pacifist is going to be extremely difficult because we only have 2 weapons remaining. We've used hands already, so we're going to have to use one of these weapons, which are much harder to win with. This is especially true on Crash Zone, because with the Pruner, which is the weapon that we've rolled, we don't have enough knockback to keep the rib cages off us in Wave 11. So if we don't find knockback or enough damage to kill those enemies, we will die deterministically on Wave 11 on this map. So we need to make sure that we have a strategy to deal with that. This fertilizer helps a ton. That's a huge economic upgrade. But I think what we're going to have to do is try to build damage Pacifist. I don't want to have to rely on finding a bunch of boxing gloves in order to push enemies off of us. So we're going to try to build damage in order to be able to kill the ribcage enemies on Wave 11 so that we don't just die, because they get faster and faster, so we won't be able to keep them from just killing us normally. So we're going to have to make that work. Here, I'm going to take 5% damage. If we want to play damage Pacifist, we have to take every point of percent damage that we see. Otherwise, we will never be able to catch up with our minus 95% damage penalty. Now, we can still play around this. If we find a boxing glove early, then we may swap strategies and just use knockback and build Pacifist as sort of like a normal tanky defensive Pacifist. But given that there's no guarantee that we find that item, I think that we're best off trying to focus on something that we know we'll be able to do, in this case build damage. So that's the strategy. We'll see how it plays out. You can tell I've been thinking about this one a while, because I know that, I've known that it's been on the list. So I was not sure how we were going to win it. And I think this is the best way. So I could build attack speed, I could build percent damage, and I think, again, we're just going to take percent damage. We don't have to roll for harvesting because we have the support weapon tag to build harvesting, and we were super lucky and found an early fertilizer. So that helps a ton in terms of finding more damage early. I'm actually not that happy with this level 2 Pruner. I'll take it, but I really wanted to get 6 weapons to max out our harvesting early, our bonus from the support weapon tag. But obviously the level 2 Pruner is still nice, and better to just pick that up, I think. We could have rerolled looking for 2 level 1 Pruners, but with only 1 weapon slot open, it doesn't seem like that's going to be a winning plan. So with the Pacifist, you get 0.65 materials and XP for every enemy that survives the wave. But you still usually want to kill enemies if possible, because when you kill an enemy, you get 1 material and experience for killing it. So it's still better to kill them. Here, I'm going to reroll. I could take attack speed, but movement speed is really nice for this character. It'll help us stay ahead of enemies. So we'll take the level 2 there. Lifesteal isn't a terrible idea. We have a lot of healing from our gardens, because obviously we're a Pruner build, but we still want a lot more healing. But I think I'm just going to take 5 harvesting here. That'll get us to 41, which will help our harvesting, and actually even more with the Peaceful Bee. That'll help our harvesting growth and just get us off to a good start in terms of our economy. We're going to be a little slower than a normal Pacifist build to get our core stats online, because we're buying damage, which usually you don't. So we need to make sure that our economy is keeping up. Weird Food is an incredible find. That's going to be a massive boost to our healing. Still only doing 1 damage a shot, even though obviously we've bought 15% damage. Once we get to like minus 50% is when we can start more reliably killing enemies. Couple crate drops as well. I've also noticed that we have 2 horde waves as our first 2 boss waves, which is good for us, I think. Horde waves are a little bit difficult for the Pacifist, but since we're building damage, we should be able to kill the horde enemies, hopefully. And then that'll be a little easier than if we had elites. To survive an elite with this character, you just need the defensive stats to tank through it, because obviously you're not going to kill it. And building that at the same time as building our damage could be very difficult. I'm going to reroll here. I could take 10 luck, but I feel like I want damage, attack speed, melee damage, something along those lines. I'll take 10% attack speed, and then here we'll take 10 luck. Then I'm going to keep boosting my luck up to 20. We get some regen as well, and a weird food. I'll roll. Pick a weird food. Broken Mouth and Goat Skull are both pretty good. Pruners only scale with 50% melee damage or 65% at level 2, but we do need to build enough base damage that we can kill those enemies, especially given that our percent damage multiplier is going to be low. So we've got 6 waves before the rib cages spawn, and that's when we need to be strong enough to kill them. So we are running out of time. I would love a penguin. That would be a big deal for this character as well, because obviously then we could pick up consumables and get a little extra healing. Our level 2 Pruner is doing 2 damage a shot, which is helping us kill enemies occasionally. And we're not super far behind on income yet. Typically, when you're not using hands, Pacifist is going to fall pretty far behind on income. 165 for wave 5 isn't great, but it's not awful. We'll take a Pruner here, and then I will buy these 2 items, and then we'll reroll. Keep upgrading our Pruners, because it improves our damage scaling. Normally, you don't really care about upgrading weapons on the Pacifist, but since we have to build damage for this version, then it's gonna be good. I think I will take Decomposing Flesh. This is a lot of healing, so it will let us skimp on buying healing, and that can be very valuable for us. Haven't found much percent damage, though, so we definitely need to pick up more of that very soon. Taking a few hits here, but of course we can heal back up. I want to avoid getting Curse, at least before wave 11 also, because while we might be able to build the damage to kill the rib cages, we're very unlikely, I think, to be able to build damage to kill a cursed one, and that, again, could just kill us deterministically, which is what we're trying to avoid here. Ooh, a level 2 melee damage or 5% damage. Percent damage is so impactful. I think I'll take the level 2 upgrade, though, and then here I could take 3 regen, but I'm going to reroll, because I really need to start building percent damage, and I think we do just have to take the level 1% damage upgrade. Take the Decomposing Flesh. Ugly Tooth is a way that we can control enemies and keep them off of us as well, so I'm going to buy this. If we do find a Boxing Glove, which is still a possibility for a direction this run could go, the Ugly Tooth will help a lot with that, and it just gives us more time. These 2 injections are really nice finds as well. Claw Tree is not going to be enough damage to be worth buying. I am going to need to find a little more melee damage, but we can get that in more efficient ways. I wanted to kill the healer there, but our damage output is not really high enough to kill the healers or the eggs yet, so we're just going to have to run away from these slashers currently. I don't remember the exact hit point values that the rib cages have, but it's somewhere in the, like, 200s. So we just need our damage to be about, I don't know, 15 or 20 per attack so that they don't kill us. Fortunately, we do have a lot of healing right now, so that's definitely giving us an edge here. Here, I'm going to re-roll. I really want to find percentage damage, so I'm going to roll a couple times. Do I take 6 melee damage? Our melee damage base is not that bad, so I'm going to roll again, and one more time here. Really unfortunate that we didn't find any percent damage, but I'll take 9 max HP. Take an injection. Cauldron will give us additional damage, so that's good. And then Cyclops Worm is an incredible find. Do I want that over the coffee or the propeller hat? This is an interesting question. I think we will be able to actually kill stuff with 12% more damage. On the other hand, coffee is probably the thing that will help me clear the wave most, and propeller hat is an economy item, though it does cost me 2% damage, which is worth mentioning. I maybe even shouldn't have bought the first one. I think what we're going to do here, though, is buy the economy item. We'll lock the coffee and the Cyclops Worm, and I'll save my money with 2 items locked. But that's a very good shop for us. This is a very dangerous wave. Our weapons are not yet strong enough to kill the chargers, but I'm going to make sure to kill the ranged enemies here. Just to make sure that we don't have to dodge as much. The movement for this character with no knockback is definitely harder, because you need to actually dodge most enemy movement, since you're not killing them and you're not pushing them away. So if my commentary is a little slower than normal, it's because I'm focusing pretty heavily on trying to move correctly. No crate there is sad. Although, I guess we did get one. A tree I'll definitely take, and then here... I'm not building dodge. I do have... I could use move speed. I think I'm going to roll, though. I feel like we can do better. And I'm going to roll one more time. Yeah, 15 attack speed is exactly the type of thing that we're looking for here. We'll buy both of these. Duct tape costs me HP, does give me armor, but I think I'm going to reroll past that. Cyberball is not going to be enough damage, I don't think. Wave 9, I think with 8 damage a shot, we should be okay on Wave 9. Wave 9 is also dangerous for this character. Wave 11's the real one you need to worry about, but again, with only 2 knockback, the fast enemies on this wave can get us, especially because we only have 3 speed. I think I'm going to roll one more time here, and we'll definitely take a warrior helmet. Unfortunately, I'm really not finding much that helps, and I don't think we can afford to roll for 18, though. Yeah, 8 damage a shot is pretty good, though, for this wave, so we should be able to clear most of these enemies safely. The equation on killing enemies does get worse as you progress through the waves, because 0.65 materials and XP for letting them live, that stays constant on the Pacifist, and it's every enemy that you kill or that despawns generates 0.65. Whereas after Wave 5, enemies have a chance of not dropping materials when you kill them. So we're getting relatively less, though it's still, on average, worth more to kill enemies until the very, very late game. And here you can see we're actually going to make very decent money on Wave 9, which is really nice. We can't really use the landmine, so I'm going to recycle that. Crown is a great find. If we make it past the next couple waves, then the crown will be excellent. I will take the poisonous tonic. Attack speed's very important. But do I want attack speed here, or do I need to roll for percentage damage? I think we can take 10% more attack speed, and then... Ooh, is 6 melee damage worth more, or 8% damage? With Pruner, our damage scaling ratio off of melee damage is so poor, I think that we actually want to take the lower level 8% damage buff there. Shackles is not bad. Capping my move speed at 3, definitely a problem. But the range is not terrible for this weapon, and the regen is actually very good. Obviously, the engineering is wasted. On the other hand, can I really afford to cap my move speed at 3 on this character? That's so low. 8 regen. I think 8 regen is just too good to pass, so we will take that, obviously buying it before the warrior helmet. I'm not even looking at the starfish. We're just not going to kill enough enemies for that to be worth it. Whistle we can ignore as well. We don't really have the opportunity to kill loot aliens yet. We'll take a Pruner, we'll take a Lemonade, we'll roll here. A lot of economy items showing up in these waves. I've got one more wave to find some percent damage. Our weapons do 9 damage a shot, which is definitely too low. I think I'll take the treasure map, but ignore the recycling machine. And then we'll lock this head injury, which is exactly the type of thing that we need. Hopefully we hit level 15 this wave, and then if we do, we can get a level 3 damage level up. That would be a big deal. Or plus 6 melee damage would also be really nice. Couple tree kills. Only 1 crate so far this wave, though. Gotta run over here and get some consumables. The amount of consumable heal that we've managed to collect, given that we are a garden build, is definitely a massive benefit for us. Letting me play much, much more aggressively. And it also let us buy that reduced move speed. We wouldn't have been able to get away with that if we didn't have all this consumable healing, but because our healing is really good, we were able to get away with it. I'll take the head injury for sure. That's awesome. Metal plate is still good. And then ritual, that gets us to minus 43. And then we've got 6 damage locked in the shop as well. We didn't quite hit level 15, but I will take a 6 melee damage upgrade. We'll take a head injury and we'll roll here. Gonna upgrade this pruner. Do I want the schmoop? Our weapons do 14 damage. Guess I will take this still, because my HP is really low. So I think 13 damage, but higher health is still better. We'll take the leather vest, we'll roll here, and then I'm going to lock this. We'll pick up a broken mouth. Baby gecko, I don't think we care about, so I'm going to roll past that. Okay, this little muscly dude is great. The scarf is probably worth picking up as well. Increased enemy speed next wave is very dangerous. But it fixes our movement speed, and the regen is really powerful. Alright, so I need to run directly at these ribcage guys to kill them before they get too fast. I think we have just enough damage so that we don't die to them without any possibility of success. So, our plan so far has worked. Managed to get exactly as much damage as we needed. The ugly tooth is very good here as well. It's keeping them from getting too fast until we have had time to bring them down to 0 hit points. But as you can see, as they accelerate, they're getting on top of me and we're not being able to push them away. Which, if we didn't have the damage to kill them, would mean certain doom. So, very, very important that we build damage this run. Yeah, that one was starting to get too quick. But we should survive this wave, and that was the first really big hurdle passed. Okay, a boxing glove does help a lot. Even though we've built damage, it's still very nice. I'm going to re-roll here. 3 armor would be great, but I think we can still do better. And we'll take 15 attack speed, and then I'm going to buy some movement speed. So let me re-roll. We'll take 4 melee damage also. I'll buy this. Maybe I need to wait on the scarf, because this next wave is a horde wave, and it has healers and more ribcage enemies. So I think we're going to pass on the scarf for this wave. I'll still buy it, but not until the wave after this one. Even 2% damage is still pretty good, and the pearl can give us more, so I will take the pearl, and then we will hopefully be able to kill the horde enemies this wave. So I gotta kill the healers because they're gonna keep the rib cages alive, and then I gotta kill the rib cages before they get too fast. That's my sort of goal for this wave. While also obviously not dying to the horde enemies, but at least our damage is high enough to kill those fairly reliably. I did pass an alien tongue earlier, and maybe I should have taken that, because that does come with 1 knockback and makes us better at healing. Passed it, like, all the way back at the beginning. I was thinking that we really needed to focus on core stats, but knockback is good, so probably that should have been a purchase for us. Though given that we've managed to reach the goals that we had, I think we've navigated this one pretty well. Wheelbarrow at this point, I think we can still take it. We have a crown, so it's worth more. We have 10 armor, so we can afford to lose a little bit of armor. I will take the bat, though, and I'm going to reroll this, and we'll take 6 more melee damage. Okay, now we can take Scarf. Alien Eyes, we're still going to pass on. Butterfly I'll take, though. That's a lot of healing. And we'll take a Shady Potion. I'm going to pass on Sunglasses. We're just not worried about crit chance for this character, I think. Although, we do get increased crit multiplier as we level these pruners. Going down to 8 armor is bad, but this is a big damage boost, so I think I will actually take that, and then we will lock the pruner here. Tractor, I'm not going to get that greedy. We just need more damage output, so we're going to pass on that. But we'll take the Tentacle, because we did buy the Sunglasses, so we've got a lot of crit chance. We can use some crit items now. So this is, again, going to be a dangerous wave because we have the Scarf. So these are faster enemies. And wave 13 has a lot of high health enemies. It's got the tentacles. It's got these slow armored guys. With the, like, clamshell heads. Run away here, taking a lot of hits. Have to pick up some consumables. Moving to this side of the map because we have more active gardens over here, because I kind of used up the healing that was on the top side of the map. So I needed to move through there and heal. I'm not going to be able to get that tree before the end of the wave, but we survived. That's the important thing. I will take the fin. Lifesteal is still good, and obviously the speed, we're over speed cap now, but getting 2 speed cap is pretty important, and this lets us buy items that normally would reduce us below it. I'll take the attack speed here. Okay, Bloody Hand. That's a lot of lifesteal and a ton of percentage damage. So this is an amazing find. We're actually very happy with that. Now our damage is positive, and suddenly we're doing totally reasonable damage output. We'll take the Lost Duck and the Blindfold. I can maybe build Dodge as well. Ice Cube I'm still going to pass on. We don't have any source of elemental damage. Now that I have the damage over time item, I really need a jerky or something like that to make sure that we get value out of these consumables anyways. Because we turned off a lot of our garden healing by buying the Bloody Hand, right? Since it's going to pull in the consumables when we've only taken 1 damage. So even though we have 8 consumable healing, we're not getting the value out of that. Jerky mitigates that problem by making sure that your healing is dealt over time. So even if you pick up a fruit while you're effectively at full health, you still get value from it. This is a really dangerous wave, so I need to be, again, very careful with my movement here. And the Bloody Hand does put my health under pressure. Because the lifesteal is useful, but not super reliable for this character. So again, requires very solid movement to survive here. And we did make it through. Take more attack speed. I will take the Poisonous Tonic. I'll buy both of these items. Oop, I should have bought that upgraded pruner. I thought I would be able to. Rip and Tear I'm not going to pick up because it's mostly useful for this Horde wave. And we're building crit chance and stuff already. So since we wouldn't be able to get it until after the Horde wave anyways, we're not going to get it. This wave, we should be able to focus a little bit more on keeping clear of the goobers. There's just fewer summoners on this map compared to wave 14, so we're less exposed to them. And because it's a horde wave, they should start despawning as well, even if we let a few spawn. Though the basic ranged enemies, in addition to the goobers, do mean just a lot of projectiles on this map. Jerky would be so good for us, and unfortunately we don't have it. Gonna try to just dodge here. Got that 1 fruit and 3 seconds left, so hopefully we can just make it through, and we did. All right. The saltwater I'm definitely taking. The melee damage and attack speed are both good, and then I really need more armor. Our armor is just not sufficient right now, so I'm going to pick that up. We'll upgrade our weapon, take the spicy sauce. With 54 health, I'm kind of tempted by this 1 HP on the jelly, but I think I'll pass. I'll take the pruner. Sad tomato we'll take. Blood leech we'll take. And then we'll roll. Dangerous bunny is pretty good. Black flag we're definitely not taking. I again want to avoid curse on this character because we just don't have the damage to kill those enemies. And the thing that I'm worried most about, especially because I bought Bloody Hand, which puts our health under a lot of pressure, is fighting this elite. Since I have... I could actually take Baby Elephant now. It's a decent amount of damage for us. Since I have so much consumable heal, and we've got the Bloody Hand, which is making our consumable healing worse, I'm going to take the Alien Worm as well. Regen is still very good for us, and offsets the damage from the Bloody Hand. Spicy Sauce is great also because, obviously, we're a garden build, so that's a lot of damage from those consumables. Have to kill the buffing enemies as much as we can. If I find just a little bit more damage or tankiness, we might be able to kill the elite next wave. I'm hoping for an elite we can just run from because I'm not at the point where I feel strong enough to kill it safely. With only 54 health, too, it's pretty dangerous. But if it's an elite that we have to fight, we might have the damage to be able to take it out. And if we get just a little bit more damage, or, you know, something like a silver bullet, obviously, would be incredible. But anything that boosts our damage output, in particular, just upgraded weapons to increase our damage scaling, we could maybe kill it. We'll take the tree here. I'm going to reroll, and I'll take... Do I want 3 armor, 6 damage, or 8% damage? I think the safest pick is just the armor, and then we'll buy all of this stuff. We'll roll. Mouse is still good. Boxing glove, I can still take this. The knockback is still helpful. Sunglasses is actually a decent amount of additional damage. It does cost me an armor, but I think I will take it here, and then I'm still going to pass on the fishhook. This late, it doesn't do that much, but the boxing glove we'll take because knockback is still good for us. All right, where is the elite? Okay, there it is. So this is one that is usually easier to fight because it's going to start summoning. So you want to take it out of its summoning form. And we did get enough damage to kill it here, I think. Although, unfortunately, I've put it in its second form and now can't really approach it. My attack speed is pretty bad, so we're struggling to get close to it and stay healthy. Our lifesteal is helping a lot, though. I'm very glad about that. So I think I'm gonna just run from the elite for the rest of this wave. We'll just farm the horde. It looks like it should be safe to fight, but it's really not because our maximum health is so low. So the fact that we're staying at high health is somewhat deceptive. High percentage health is somewhat deceptive. And if we get surrounded by all of the summons, then we can get in a lot of trouble. So with 12 more max health, that would have helped a lot. Take the boxing glove. I'll take another scarf. We should be okay next wave with that. We've bought a lot of knockback, so coil's actually pretty good. But let's take the little muscly dude and the shady potion, and we'll lock the coil. Riposte, I don't think we need. Gotta kill these buffing enemies because they're gonna make the enemies so fast, as you can see. Taking a lot of hits here, so I'm gonna retreat back and pick up some consumables. Try to chase down the buffers. The other reason that it was less safe to fight that elite is because our move speed is so bad. So it's hard to dodge its attacks. And, you know, stay next to it. This is why move speed is so powerful. Or one of the many reasons move speed is so powerful. I think we can get this loot alien. That's our first loot alien kill this run, but we do have the damage to kill it, so Alright, took a hit from a buffed enemy, but we've got all the fruits, so we can just tank through it. And we made very good money that wave, thanks to the doubled materials from last wave. We're going to be standing still a lot while fighting Elite, so I'm going to take the Coral. It will just give us a little bit of extra healing. They did fix the tap moving thing, sort of, but not completely, so you can still tap move for value from Coral. I'll take 9 dodge here. Getting to 20 dodge is pretty good, and if I get even a little more, that will help. I'm going to roll. A penguin is a great find. We're often going to start pulling in material or consumables and then heal back up to full, and so the penguin just gives us value when that happens. I'll take the padding because I definitely want more HP, and I'll roll again, keep upgrading my pruners, and pickup range is not terrible, but I think we could do better than all this. We'll keep upgrading our weapons. Clover and Gambling Token are both good defensive items for us, and I guess I'll throw in a Lost Duck as well. Even though we've got a ton of Gardens, the luck is still good for healing, because every enemy we kill has a higher chance of dropping a healing fruit, which is worth 7 every time we pick one up, so it's a lot of hit points. Definitely one of the runs I've been most concerned about this entire time is non-hand Pacifist. Always just much more challenging than if you use hands. At this point, we're tanky enough that we can just wade into the groups of enemies and mostly come out intact, though. We'll recycle the Ice Cube. We're going to roll here, and I'll take 6 melee damage as well. I do want to kill the bosses, so I'm going to focus on doing that. I'm going to roll here. Roll again. Take an upgraded Pruner. Pocket Factory, not so good for this character. We'll take another Pruner, and then it does cost me regen, but the Poisonous Tonic is very good. And then I will roll. The Lantern would have been an incredible find if we'd gotten that early. Obviously, the likelihood of getting that before Wave 11 is very low, and that's when you would really need it, but still would have been great. Let's go fight the bosses here. So now I should have the damage to kill these fairly efficiently, I think. Typically, you want to kill the octopus boss before the other one because it runs at you and has more dangerous attack patterns. For this character, I just saw the other one first, and my goal was really just to kill them as quickly as possible before we had to do too much dodging, given our low movement speed and the fact that we have Bloody Hand and everything. And there we go. All right. I'm really pleased with that, honestly. I was worried that would be an extremely challenging run, but the strategy of building percent damage and getting to the point where we could kill the rib cages worked exactly as I hoped it would. We did end up finding knockback, so we were able to push them away, but not before Wave 11, so we would have died 100% if we hadn't been able to kill those guys. Let's take a look at our items here. Obviously, the opening a fertilizer in a box is incredible. Just a massive boost to any character that can manage that. The early Gentle Alien was really nice. Huge for your economy, great for our percent damage needs. We also found some very efficient sources of HP, and the weird foods are great. Triple Tree is good. 16 lifesteal off the decomposing flesh, which is awesome. And 143 harvesting off of a very early crown, which obviously is incredible as well. Zero items from Treasure Map. That's unreal. I mean, you drop fewer crates on the Pacifist than on other characters because you don't kill enemies as much, but we got a quite early Treasure Map and found 0 items, which is super unlucky. Little muscly dudes were great here. The Pearl ended up being very good, 9% damage off of that. The sunglasses, I'm happy that I bought Crit Chance when I did. I don't think we wanted to buy into it earlier, but they worked out very well, and the scarves were very good also. Bloody Hand really helped us out by just spiking our damage. We got 84% damage off of that, and then we did 27k with the spicy sauce, 150 healing with the tentacles. Dangerous Bunny paid off, because it makes more money than is listed here, because it makes all your other rerolls cheaper. And let's see, the coil was good for 14% damage, so yeah, I'm very, very happy with how that went. Honestly, I don't recommend this run. It's so stressful trying to find the damage before wave 11 to kill the ribcage enemies. If you're going to play Pacifist, just play hands. It's so much easier and smoother, but we have managed to do it. Alright, my friends, I hope that you have enjoyed this run, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. That's 120, 4 to go.